Okay, so up next we have Super Metroid Reverse Boss Order being run by Fu. We've got a couple of people here to commentate as well, so you guys want to reintroduce yourselves?
Hey guys, I'm Fuzda.
I'm
And
Anaconda69.
Dingus, you there, bro?
Oh, apparently not. Maybe. Okay, it seems like Dingus is having some mic issues. Hopefully, he gets that sorted out. Well, okay, I guess we'll start the run off, and then
No, that's fine.
when he gets stuff sorted out, he can say hi then. So yeah, if you want to just count it down and then...
Alright, I'm gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright guys, this is Reverse Boss Order Super Metroid. What that means is you're gonna be seeing me beat the bosses in reverse intended order. And those are the statue bosses, so we'll be doing Ridley, then Dragon, then Phantoon, then Kraid. So, what that essentially means is that I'm not going to be getting the Varia or Gravity Suit at all during this run. So I'm going to be taking heat damage during a lot of places, and I'm going to have to be doing a lot of cool Sulis Meridia stuff. So, it's actually a pretty difficult run, and hopefully we can get through this without too much trouble.
Yeah, so the heat damage in the Sulis Maria that Fuso was talking about definitely some of the most challenging, but also some of the most interesting parts. You know, it really makes this category, really, really interesting. If you don't know, when you're going to fight Ridley, and most rooms in all the rooms in Lower Norfair, and then most of the rooms in Upper Norfair are all heated. So without the Varia or the Gravity Suit, you'll be taking heat damage the entire time. So in order to actually make it through there, what Fus is going to be doing for the first maybe 30-35 minutes of this run is he's going to be collecting a whole lot of items in order to do this. A bunch of energy tanks, and then missiles, super missiles, and power bombs. And there's a really cool technique that you can use, Crystal Flash, where when you're below 50 total energy, including your energy and your reserves, if you use a power bomb and then hold certain inputs, it uses 10 missiles, 10 supers, and 10 power bombs, and refills your health back to maximum. And you'll be seeing him do that a lot in order to survive all the heat and stuff he'll be enduring in Lower Norfair.
Also, it's also used to do a pretty cool glitch in Dragon. I don't want to spoil it yet.
Yeah.
Let's try to explain that when we get to it. But
For sure.
It's going to be pretty hype, I hope. You haven't seen it before?
Oh yeah, that's definitely something to look forward to. I guess another thing to mention, not only is in Lower Norfair are you taking damage the entire time, but also it's since technically the last area of the game that sequentially the developers wanted you to go to, expecting you to already have the Varia and Gravity Suits, which does 75% damage mitigation. All the enemies down there do anywhere from 160 to 200 damage. So if he gets hit by anything, that's quite a bit of damage right there. But he will be getting the screw attack, which helps avoid much of that.
Basically, just everything will do 4 times damage to me, because I'm not going to have gravity, which is going to suck. Which is going to be great, so... hopefully I don't get hit by too many things, right?
Right.
That is the plan. Pit of shame.
And so yeah, like I was saying, a lot of this the first portion of this run is a lot of item collection. And the first 5 minutes of this run is the same as pretty much any other any other Metroid run. We all love it so much.
It's the same thing every run.
Every run. It does. It starts to deviate once you get into Brinstar. Is when you start to do a little bit of more item collection. Yes, there are world records that Zos does not have. You can see them all there in the link that he posted. DeerTier.com is.
He only has a few, you know.
he has quite a few, but there are some that he doesn't have. You know, to maybe some people's surprise. We, you know, like to be different as those who wrote Super Metroid. We don't have we have our own separate leaderboard aside from speedrun.com, where a lot of people have been moving their leaderboards to. So ours still remain on deertier.com.
Yes, this is running on original SNES. Not playing on emulator or virtual console.
Yeah, original hardware is definitely the way to go. All right, Lord of Lou, definitely. Yes, there are some categories that aren't included on Deer Tier, ones that are probably the least popular. Not that they aren't cool runs, but it's just the ones that, you know, a lot of people just either don't even know about, or they just aren't run very often.
Bring Rambo to Deer Tier.
Rambo? What is Rambo, Fuzda?
Rambo is what I'm seeing a lot of people type in chat that, you know, I'm fighting Bomb Teresa, I'm doing all these things, I'm not even fighting Mother Brain first. Rainbow corrects all of that. It is reverse all mini boss order. But it is an exceptionally glitched category, as you might imagine, because it's difficult to get into Turian before fighting any of the bosses.
Yeah, so you know, with the use of many glitches, you are actually able to fight every boss and mini-boss in the reverse intended order. All 9 of them, or 10, I mean.
2Cat, yes, I will be. We'll be picking up grapple, not doing a grapple skip run in a marathon.
Yeah, so in this run, Fusa will be picking up 30 missiles,
wow. Okay.
30 super missiles, and 25 power bombs. You may say, oh, well, why not just pick up a whole bunch of, like, you know, missiles and a whole bunch, like, a ton of extra ammo. In this run, actually, getting a bunch of extra missiles is actually detrimental, because you might end up being, when you're in Lower Norfair, you do have to do some farming at some times, you know, especially before Ridley, so you can get your ammo back up, so you can Crystal Flash, and then farm up again so that you can kill Ridley the fastest. Since your super missiles will be doing the most damage per second. But if you have a higher cap of missiles, like say 50 rather than 30, you might end up actually, since you don't really end up using the missiles on Ridley, like regular missiles that is, you could actually farming for, you might be getting missiles rather than super missiles when you want the supers, and then that's just more time that your health is draining down, and then you're going to have less health to fight, and less health to escape with. Actually, you will be picking up the energy tank. It's just its health for the fight, which is can be a problem if you do getting hit by Ridley.
Oh, I hope that's the end of the audio issue.
Oop.
Ah,
That was weird.
Dingus.
Oh.
Welcome back, Dingus.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, for some reason it was playing it back through VLC. It confused me.
So why don't you introduce yourself, Dingus?
Right. Hello, I'm Little Dingus, and I'll be joining Wild and Fusda in this reverse boss order run.
Yeah, so right now, Fuse is actually, he's heading into warfare. He's going to be picking up Spacer. It's pretty important to get, you know, these X beams here, you know, just for as much, you know, damage as you can get. It also it has a lot in the Sulis Meridia section, but we can get back to that later. But were you going to say something, Dingus?
No, I'm good at the moment.
Okay, yeah. So he's Fus is now going to be heading into Norfair, and begin the first couple of runs. So those can be some kind of interesting. Your health is a little bit of an issue, but you know Fus is a very competent player and has done this quite a bit. So, you know, make it look much easier. No pressure or anything.
A minute, did I get full health? I have to check because I'm not. Okay.
I believe you did.
I wasn't counting.
So what he's talking about there is he's you know, didn't want to have to pause to, you know, look at his reserves normally, so you can count, you know, and the energy drops that you're getting from the Zebos there, and then you can make sure so you count and know when your reserve is full instead of having to stop and pause and look, is what he's talking about there. Because having the most amount of health going through, like having maximum starting through these hell runs is, you know, just good for safety, make you a little more comfortable.
Yeah, earlier on in the run, he could have gone to somewhere like Blue Ring Star or Early Gauntlet to pick up an eating early, but Fuser doesn't need that.
Well, we'll see.
If that might... Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can fix that. Sorry, guys.
I think I'm gonna need to farm in Ball Mountain. Yeah, not too much though. That's good.
Yeah, you made it though. That's the important thing.
Oh hey, I don't need to farm. I got it. I got it. Come back. All right, we should be fine with 80. Just doing a little pause buffering just to be safe. If you are waiting for drops and you pause, you can never die or you won't die because you'll, well, basically whenever the fade-in menu is happening, you can't die. So if you're actually at 0 energy and you're waiting for drops to appear, which is what I was doing right there, you actually can't die, so it's kind of nice. You could be at 0 energy for like a number of frames, and then when the pause menu actually finally kicks in, you might be able to get the health drops and then live, which is what I was trying to do there, but I didn't even need it that time.
The same applies when you're going down the elevator to Lower Norfair, does it not? Waiting for
Something
the
like
reserve.
that. Your reserve will not activate. If you lose all of your health and have to activate your reserves, like an auto reserve, the reserves will not activate until you get to the bottom of the elevator, which is helpful. It shouldn't be too helpful in this run because I should have way more than enough health to do lava dive without even needing to use my reserve at all. But we'll see.
Alright, I I should be good to go now. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, were you just explaining the pausing health thing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Okay.
I hate this. These stupid bugs. Sometimes they gave me small health twice in a row, which means that even though I got back in time, to start getting the health drops before my reserve tank filled up. Even giving you small health drops twice in a row means you lose health. So I activated my reserve when I didn't want it to.
Yeah, so in this game at least, the small healths give you 5 health each. Large healths give you 20. And there are, even though it doesn't seem like it, there are bugs there. So if they were all to give you small drops, right, you're only getting the equivalent of slightly more than 1 large health drop, which is not enough to really mitigate the or gain health, I guess. A net gain over the loss of energy in the by taking heat. So, reminding you to not do the down grab.
Yep, got it. Reserves are interesting in this game, especially when in heat runs. Hang on, I'm actually gonna be quiet for a split second because this is. Okay, because if your reserves auto-activate... Okay, we're good. If reserves auto-activate in the middle of a heat run, you actually lose 25 energy of the reserve tank. And that just has to do with you taking damage during the reserve tank's activation. But if you manually activate your reserve... I don't have enough energy actually to do this. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, good. We're good.
Yeah, so normally leaving your reserves on auto, like in a casual play, is pretty much what most players will do. They say, oh well, if I take fatal damage, right, it's gonna automatically kick in, and I'll get the most out of it. But a lot of the time, it's actually beneficial to manually refill your reserves. As Fuzda was explaining, you still take damage. You're still taking heat damage while your reserves are manually filling up, so you lose about 20 of that, which can definitely be the difference between life and death in an RBO run. And in some other instances, if you receive fatal damage and then your reserves kick in, if there's like 70 or more health in your reserves, your invulnerability frames, they continue to run as your reserves are filling up, and so after about 70 energy that fills up, your invulnerability frames rather expire, and if you're still within the hitbox of that enemy that killed you, it will hit you again and result in a double hit, even more wasted energy. So now Fuzda's heading down to Crocomire. Adorable mini boss, I think. Gonna go get some items down here. Energy tanks, power bombs, and grapple beam, which is pretty much an essential. It's not essential, but it makes the run extremely easy, or as opposed to not having it. It's used a lot for farming and traversing Suitless Meridia, which you will see in a little bit.
Yeah, grapple's an invulnerable tool in Meridia, and farming, as you said.
Yeah, if you don't have grapple when you're farming in Lower Norfair before Ridley, it is extremely difficult to actually gain health while you are doing that, if that's something that has to happen. The farming is just a lot slower in general because you don't have the
slow
range.
in the heat room means more damage taken because you're taking too long.
Exactly. Yep. And I apologize, I know I'm slightly behind here, but you did see Fuzda wait there at that energy tank before, as Crocomire was still in the acid. That is to reduce the lag. If you go back on screen with Crocomire as he's melting in the acid, it generates a lot of lag. And as you can see, Fuzda still made it over to the wall of spikes before the little bubble trail. of Rockemire swimming underneath the acid made it over there, so he didn't actually lose any time, and there was no lag, so it was an overall time save there. Just a little, just a little bit of a reduction. I apologize. I said melting in the acid. If something goes cut out, that was not intentional.
Let's see if Foos gets the swag mock ball back.
Oh man, it's so much pressure to get this. I better. Oh my god, I'm just like shaking. Oh my god, I might have jumped too far. Oh. All right.
Yeah, so continuing item collection now. Going to exit Norfair, head back out to Brinstar and Criteria, get more energy tanks and actually most supers collection and power bombs happens in Brinstar and Criteria. Thanks, Kikahari.
Well, I'm gonna need to farm before I do ice. I don't know, should I just do ice? This is like the sketch point where it's... You don't know if you want to farm or... Okay, let's just see what health drops I get, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so in this, you can... There's really 2 times you can get ice. As you're exiting your first hell run through
yeah, whatever.
Through Norfair, if you do feel comfortable with the amount of health that you have remaining, you can get ice now. And it is, I believe it is faster to do so now, only slightly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but also when you come back down before you head into Lower Norfair, you can get it then as well, and you will have more health at that point.
Foos, you're not going to need ice for Meridia.
I didn't have enough health. I wasn't comfortable with the amount of health I had to go do it, and I didn't feel like farming. So,
yeah, no worries, I understand.
So I'll just get it on the way back.
Yeah, it's only a slight bit of backtracking.
Oh no, I didn't get that even. I wanted to show off a cool spark that's dead. Oh, I did get it. Well, whatever.
So when Foos goes into Lower Norfair, he's going to want 30 super missiles, which is going to make Ridley a lot easier. 30 missiles, which will help with the crystal flashes, and 25 power bombs. I think that's the schedule you're using, isn't it?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as far as a little technical here, talking about some damage numbers. So Ridley has 18,000 health, and normally super missiles do 300 damage, but some enemies, including Ridley, extra damage from super missile damage. So each super missile is going to do 100 damage to him. And you can shoot super missile so fast, it's the highest amount of DPS that you could do. So mathematically, that works out to, 600 times is going to be the 18,000 that you need to kill him. But what Fuzda is actually going to do is a really cool special beam attack to call an X Factor to conserve just a few super missiles. Every little bit of ammo that you don't have to farm is saving you health that could be the difference between life and death.
Ooh, okay, that was a mistake.
Yeah, so the damage boost here can be just a little bit tricky. You have to, I guess, preemptively, just guess. Like you have to know the pattern, the jumping pattern of the Boyons. They're the little yellow jumpy guys. And if you screwed up, you can always just use your blue suit invulnerability echoes to jump right through them, as you saw Fuzda do there. Yes, there is one X Factor done. It's pretty free in the very beginning of the fight, just to conserve 2 super missiles. I guess I can talk a little bit more about the X Factor. If you haven't seen this done before, the special beam attacks. When you have power bombs and just
I don't know how I didn't. I don't know how I didn't do an upsprout there, but I guess I didn't. Okay. I don't remember pushing the R button, but it worked. Oh, I need to turn my TV's volume up for this. Hang on.
Yeah.
Sorry, you might hear an echo for 1 second. Hey, I got first try. I don't even know where that is.
nice.
Okay, that's not. Right.
So what Fuzda just did there is called a wraparound shot, and basically what happens is he opened a door on the other side of the map, as you've already seen now, and by shooting the spacer wave shot through the ground there, and so he's able to spark through the gauntlet area, which is pretty awesome. It definitely is a pretty big time save. It saves a lot of power bombs, saves some time, saves a significant amount of time, and the health that you does not really matter since the energy tank is right there. As I was saying with the X Factors, if you have power bombs equipped with just one other beam and charge, when you charge your shot, it does a special little attack. Really, the only one that is ever really utilized is the one with wave, which we named X Factor, because when the attack is activated, there are 4 purple particles that I guess pulsate from the center of where you're standing, and each doing 300 damage. So Fuzda does one of those at the very beginning of the Ridley fight for 1200 damage. It's pretty easy to hit him. Essentially, kind of like you can charge up the shot and position it before he can actually deal damage to you. So that saves 2 super missiles. He knows, JRP, don't worry.
Oh, baby. Come on. Alright, we're good. That room is annoying. Oh! Not as annoying as that room.
Best room in the game, Fusa.
I don't know, man. These animals chirping at me. They know they're gonna die. They know they're gonna fry.
Okay, that was a really subtle trick he did there, laying the power bomb and diagonal shine sparking up. It's opened up both doors. The invisible wall that's just disappeared, that was covered by power bomb blocks, and the power bomb door that was down in the bottom right.
Yeah, conserving a power bomb there, just so that he gets to shoot the door with a regular beam shot later instead of having to wait for the power bomb. So it's just saved a little bit of time there and one power bomb. So what you'll be seeing now is Fusa. He's going to be doing another type of a shot similar to a wraparound that he did at the Gauntlet. But the way that this works is he's essentially skipping a mini boss Spore Spawn. He blows out the two. You saw he got rid of the 2 blocks on that wall, and then positioned himself pretty precisely and shot a super missile, which scrolled the screen in such a way that the super missile hit a super missile block off screen before the super missile actually disappeared. So in this game, when a shot from either your beam or a missile or a super missile travels off screen, it survives for, I believe, 2 tiles off screen before it doesn't exist anymore. And so with that particular shot, if you position yourself in a precise way, you can actually hit that block from off screen and skip Spore Spawn.
You saw Spore Spawn twice this marathon. You should feel lucky.
Yeah, actually, it's very.
Come on, you never see that.
Yeah.
People complaining about Spore Spawn. We saw him twice already. Come on. Okay.
Alright, so now Foos is going to go and get ice and then make his first trip to Meridia.
Yeah, there's just a couple of more items that he wants to grab, some energy tanks and super missiles in Meridia before he begins his perilous journey into Lorne Warfare. Ice is another item, along with grapple and high jump, that make traversing Zulus Meridia pretty simple. In the grand scheme of things, if you're missing one of those, it makes it significantly more difficult.
Oop. Okay. It didn't morph. Ew.
The order of the bosses is Ridley, Dragon, Phantoon, Kraid. So if any of you are familiar with runs of this game or played it yourself, you know that to enter the last area of the game, there is a golden statue that depicts each of those 4 bosses that I just described. And the order in which they explode is the little crystals in the statue is Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, Ridley. So this game, reverse boss order. Some people, will say reverse intended boss or reverse golden 4, to be a little more specific. as to the actual order of bosses. As we mentioned earlier, there has been another category, Rambo, that actually is more of a true reverse boss category, where you actually fight Mother Brain, the final boss, first, and then proceed to fight the other bosses.
Yeah, another cool trick coming up for the fast entrance to Meridia.
Okay.
So yeah, so now you're seeing first little bits of Suitless Meridia here. In that first room, you saw most of the platforms could be just jumped on, but you saw Fus utilize Ice Beam to freeze some enemies, and manipulate his hitbox in such a way that he could get on those enemies and progress up this first room. There'll be more intricate and interesting movement a little bit later when he revisits Meridia after Lore Warfare, as far as traversing and leaving, actually. So there's just a couple more items that he's going to grab here in Meridia before he leaves. There's one more super missile pack and a energy tank that he's going to grab before making his journey to the lower parts of the planet Zebes.
So as you notice, everything here is doing ridiculous amounts of damage because you're supposed to have gravity by now.
Yeah,
Like that crab does like 120 damage. Like those flies did like I don't even remember 80 or 90.
The flies do 60. The ouches, the little spiky dudes that come out of the sand, do 100. The fish also do 120, like the crabs. Like I was mentioning with Lore Warfare, I guess I should have said Meridia as well, since these are the two latter areas of the game. You're supposed to already have all of the damage reduction at this point that the developers have intended, and you don't. So enemies are, doing 4 times that that damage that they normally would be doing at this point. So taking damage here isn't. I mean, you do have to be conscious of your health. You don't want to, die, but the risk of dying is not great. There are energy sinks here that you're picking up.
This is a fun little strat. Bulbs. I mean, you can charge through doors and. Okay, let's try to dodge the pirate. That's always the fun part. Oh.
Ninja the pirate.
dude. The guy's too strong.
Yeah, sometimes you can actually get past him without him turning around and shooting at you. As you saw there, those beams, do like 120 damage. So, also this turtle, if he was hit by that turtle, that also does 200 damage, suitless as well.
And because
and
you're
the thing is-
suitless... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is with that turtle is you can actually, if you're standing on top of it when it rises up out of the ground, you can actually clip into it just by standing there, and then it'll damage you. So that's something you gotta be careful. So you saw Tfusa deliberately stop and shoot one of the little babies to make the bigger turtle, the mama turtle, rise out of the ground before jumping on it, to avoid that exact predicament.
Alright, now the actual hard part of the run begins.
Yeah,
So
I was
this
just
is gonna
about to
be-
say now the fun begins.
This is be the stressful part. I mean, it's honestly, with all the extra stuff I'm picking up, it really shouldn't be too bad. It's just the fact you cannot make very many mistakes at all. There's room for a bit, but not very much.
Yeah, so the first notable part of this run here is going to be the lava dive. So normally in the game, you're gonna, at this point, you've already killed Dragon, and you get an item called Space Jump, which allows you to jump infinitely, provided your timing is correct, in air, which would allow you, along with the gravity suit, to be able to get through this pit of lava. But what Foos is going to need to do is, with high jump boots, your physics in lava are different than that in water, which, you can still jump decently high, which allows you to do some wall jumps off of the walls and actually make it up. But it does quite a bit of damage to you, as you will see. He will enter with close to full health and come out with only a couple hundred health remaining, because not only are you taking heat damage, but you are also taking the damage from the lava, and without any suits, that's quite a bit of damage. And so you'll see Fuzda take off Speed Booster here.
Boy. I should have gone. Whatever.
Yeah, you'll see him take off speed there to do.
Oh, come on. That didn't even work. Whatever. I'm just gonna go. It's not a big deal. I don't need that spark.
So yeah, what he was trying to do is actually get a Shine Spark across the next room to conserve health. Which you might think, oh, but the Shine Spark takes health away, and you're also taking burn damage. But it is actually faster than the alternative, which you see is grappling across. But he took off speed for a reason there. What he's going to be doing is called a bounce ball, which bounces off of the platforms, gets him much farther through the lava. But the reason why the speed booster has to be taken off is when you have speed booster and you're in the lava, for whatever reason, you are unable to gain speed or any momentum at all. So that's why speed is removed there.
Oh no. It's been so long since I've done the non-speedball.
Yeah, so the
I tried taking it a little too cautiously, and then I didn't have a whole lot of energy left when I got there, and I was like, yeah, not a big deal.
so that is what happens. You do have to be on top of your wall jump there, but it's okay because safety saves were made. So
What am I doing? Why did I take that? Okay. Yeah, this is a category where, like I said, any mistake, a reminder, usually results in death. And that was not a minor mistake. That's okay. I'd be expecting a lot to do a deathless RBO run in a marathon, honestly.
yeah, it's, marathon luck and all that jazz.
So now that we got our death out of the way, hopefully we can avoid any more of them.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect.
Want to be safe there.
And so what's gonna happen now is he's gonna be you're heading down the elevator, yeah?
Not yet.
Almost.
I mean, I just started lava dive.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, trying to predict here. But what you're gonna see, what's gonna happen is when Fusa heads down the elevator, depending on how much health he has, the reserves kick in immediately, or he might have to just wait a little bit before reserves kick in. But what's interesting, again, another thing about reserves, if you're going on an elevator and this particular elevator, which is heated, you're continually taking damage as you go down this elevator. So if you were to go down the elevator with, say, I don't know, like 12 health left, right? You would die before you actually get down to the end of the elevator, but it doesn't actually take you into, negative health or anything or activate reserves. It would take you down to 0, and as soon as you hit the bottom of the elevator, the reserves will kick in immediately. But this is, as I'm sure you've seen, the first instance of the Crystal Flash. Taking, 10 missiles, supers, and power bombs, plus the 1 power bomb used to activate to refill his health back to full. And so the Green Gate glitch now, my personal Achilles heel.
Everyone's favorite.
I hate this trick, man. It's the worst.
Come on, it's free.
What happens there is you align yourself. I'm not sure the exact precision amounts, but it's a fairly precise trick where you want to actually do like a Doppler, where you get the super missile to have a little bit of extra speed to clip through the gate and hit the button, I guess, from the other side, and that allows you to get back here and get the screw attack, which, as I said before, is very helpful with not taking damage from enemies. You can just screw attack right through them. So it's a very, very nice perk. And so Foost is going to be farming up supers here too. Supers, again, very a staple for this part of the run.
Yeah, that
Not
jump
miss-
through the
not
doors
miss Fantoon.
very subtle as well from the energy reserve to make the little wall jump to go through the ceiling.
Right, yeah. Interesting, like with speed and your jump height. Speed affects your jump height in a really interesting way. Normally you would think, oh, right, more speed is more height, which is the case in 99% of the situations. Sometimes, if you start running with a little bit of speed, as opposed to standing still and jumping, your height will actually be lower than if you had just
Oh, okay.
jumped in a straight from a standing position. So, as Dingus said, that jump is precise, so you don't too much speed and go past those blocks, get too little and not make it up at all. Sequence break is the name of this run. Yep. So yeah, this is where things start to get intense. All these enemies are doing 200 damage to him if he gets hit. It's a lot of acid, which is doing, I think, 1.5 damage per frame that he's inside of it when he suits on.
Alright. Made it to the oasis. being safe here.
Right.
No reason to do anything fishy.
Gotta save that for Meridia.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, Anaconda. I can't.
But yeah, so obviously getting these energy tanks and stuff here, getting more power bombs from these fire fleas. These fire fleas are wonderful to farm. One of the better enemies to farm. Not, they don't come in the most abundant amounts, or respawn, but they will drop you power bomb drops every single time. And if you have full power bombs, then they will always drop. If you have full power bombs, then they will always drop you a large health. So those guys are great. They also provide you light. What could be better than that? So
Your dead carcasses giving you power bombs is definitely better than light.
that's true. That is true. So yeah, now we're making our final run to Ridley. Couple of obstacles here. You got jump into seas. You got ninja pirates. You've got, all sorts of crazy stuff. What you're gonna see?
Okay, that's fine. Not even a big deal.
Good.
Yeah, I lost a little more health than I wanted, but I should be fine.
Right. So yeah, what you're gonna see is he's going to, when he gets into the room before Ridley, he's going to farm up his ammo to do a crystal flash. And before Ridley, so he can have the most amount of health for Ridley, and then he's going to continue to farm, get his supers up to 30, and then actually enter the room. And so, like I was saying, to fight Ridley, and then as I was saying earlier, you'll be seeing the X Factor to start the fight off, do just a little bit of extra damage, save some super missiles, and then he's going to just pump all those supers right into Ridley, take him out pretty quickly.
Okay, I guess I'll just not shoot grapple.
So as you're seeing here, the grapple makes this farming fairly quick, and you can imagine if you didn't have grapple here, as we were mentioning before, you'd have to wait for those guys to start swooping at you, or you'd have to shoot them and then jump down on the acid and grab the drop, which is just not a good idea. Well, the run's not necessarily rip if he dies. He made a save. At the closest save to Ridley would only take, maybe 2 minutes at maximum to get back to this area here. But yeah, this farming does take quite a bit of time.
Nice fight.
So you saw he did miss a few super missiles, which against Ridley, was quite a bit of damage. But yeah, so it was a very, very good fight. Having to use a little bit of missiles there. Yeah, so grabbing the energy tank, farming up, and so yeah, basically he's going to farm. He's not going to farm up to maximum ammo because you don't need maximum ammo to actually escape from Lorne Warfare at this point. The amount of health that you get from the Ridley energy tank, and then he's going to farm up for just enough ammo for one crystal flash. So basically, he just needs a couple more supers, and then he's just going to head way out, and then crystal flash towards the end, closer to when he's escaped, and then we're out of Norfair. Don't have to worry about any more heat damage.
This is always the best part, just hoping for supers, and you're like, come on, dudes. every round is like a few seconds, so you're just wasting time, just hoping for supers.
Yep. And in this, if you are always at a net loss of health, unless you got, from these green bugs called Zebos. If you're farming them, with grapple, it's very, very difficult to actually gain health while doing that farm. You need to be able to kill them, both get 2 large health drops, and then pick up the health drops very quickly.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's really, and especially since you're not always getting large health drops, you want super missiles. So you're always going to be constantly losing health there.
Oh my god, stupid skating. Alright, I'm not gonna do that strat. Forget how much energy it takes. This is awkward, because now I need to wait for a while, because I don't want a crystal flash in that room.
Right,
I'll
yeah,
just wait here for a bit.
yeah. There are some judgment calls you gotta make, in terms of how risky you want to be. And sometimes you do just have to sit and wait for your health to go down. There's nothing you can really do about it. Unless you want to go take damage from an enemy, but I mean, it could badly. So. A little fun fact for you. If you actually have every energy tank and reserve in the game, and you do a crystal flash, the crystal flash does not actually completely refill your health. It refills all of the energy tanks and like 223 of your reserves, I believe, something like that. But it doesn't actually refill, because it only refills while the ammo is depleting, and as soon as the ammo is finished depleting, then it stops filling up your health.
Alright, so Fuse is going to farm a little bit here, so he's got enough ammo to do a Crystal Flash in Dragon's room. So he can get himself a blue suit for free.
We can talk about that a little bit more when it gets there. Very, very hype.
Let's leave it a surprise and we'll explain afterward. How about that, huh? Because I think it's a pretty cool trick if you haven't seen it before.
Right. Definitely.
Let's be like, what just happened?
That was just a teaser trailer.
Teaser trailer. But I need more power bombs. I actually, just to be safe, I want to have enough for 2 crystal flashes, so I'll do 2 rounds of farming for these guys. 3, I mean. I should not have any problem with escaping, but you never know. Maybe I somehow forgot how to do it.
But you are a god, Fooster. You will remember.
Oh, God. Yeah, it shouldn't be any problem at all. I like how, sometimes, you're pushing up for an elevator, and then you're just standing there pushing up, and eventually one of the up pushes works, and you didn't move, you just pushed up the entire time, and you don't know why.
Yep.
Did I jump? Tell me I jumped. Sick.
So when you saw him earlier when he went into Meridia, he blew up the tube and then jumped as the tube was exploding, and through here he jumped through this door and got an insane amount of height there. It's what's called a gravity jump. Basically, when you go from a state of not being affected by water physics to a state of being affected by water physics. After you have your jump momentum initiated, then you maintain momentum into the area of water physics. So it can be done like there, through the door transition, or it can be done when if you were to pick up the gravity suit and you started a jump and then pause the game, disable the gravity suit, and then continue to jump. It would happen then as well.
My favorite fish in the game, always a crowd pleaser. Will I get on top of it? I don't know. It's just like,
Yeah, this fish is really annoying. It moves back and forth between those two platforms and slowly lowers itself down, and on the right side it ends up hitting the wall at a lower point, so if you freeze it there you can actually jump up on it sooner. But the hitbox is always really awkward. Like you would think that the hitbox of the tail is lower than that of the head, and if you jump at the tail you should be able to get on, but the hitbox, it's a square. It's literally a box, and it's very deceiving. So you can actually do a little bit of manipulation of your own hitbox by aiming down, compressing it, and so you are able to, as we call, down grab the
I don't know, I always skip the first one.
So, I assume you did the grapple jump just now?
I just did that right now.
Okay, yeah, so what you saw Foos to do, when you release from a grapple, you can actually start to, as you saw, be unmorphed, and then did another jump. This will be used again a little bit later in much more impressive effect. As you will see, but that's an interesting, not just underwater mechanic. You can do that at any time with grapple. Really interesting. But the thing is, the only time it changes is if you were to have spring ball. Instead of just mashing jump to unmorph and then jump again, you'd need to actually
stupid pattern time
unmorph manually with up. Jet Botwoon can be kind of dumb. He's got a couple of patterns that are decent.
Are you not dead? Okay, you're dead.
Yeah, that was one of the worst patterns. Well, the worst pattern to get from Botwoon. He's got 3,000 health, so 10 supers will do the trick.
Honestly, it's not even that bad of a pattern when you have gravity. When you don't have gravity, you can't move around to hit him in the hitbox that you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, his
like,
hitbox.
well, I guess I'm not hitting him for like forever.
Exactly. Yeah, Botwoon's hitbox is notoriously terrible. The hitbox is just his head, but sometimes you feel like you really hit his head, but you didn't, and other times you feel like, wow, that was like way behind his head, and it still hit. So it's a very wonky hitbox.
Now we see
Volvagia.
Zoas for supers. I want to have at least enough for 2 crystal flashes, plus opening some doors and killing some turrets. I'm gonna go for at least like 25 or 26 just to be safe.
As always, RNG's being nice with the drops.
I know, dude.
And what's really good here, yeah, it's getting a lot of supers there for a while, but it's he has full health, full missiles, full power bombs. So the only thing he's going to be getting is super missiles. RNG can definitely screw you over, drop percentages and whatnot. So yeah, in this next room here, you'll be seeing more utilization of grapple jumping to get through this room called the Coliseum. As we work our way closer and closer to Dragon.
Oh, okay. Well, that didn't work. Alright, well, that's a strat, I guess. Oh, no. No, I missed. All right, I hate missing that stupid block. I'm sure.
So one thing, yeah, that block there has a really if you try and shoot it at an angle, it's actually like not you have like even less room, it seems, to hit it, and even just going for it straight on is really be a pain. And one thing Fusta did not do here, which is good, that you do have to watch out for is you don't want to. There are spikes below that sand at the very bottom of the room, and if you sink down in that, it's incredibly difficult to get out. So what you're seeing here is he's actually setting up for what's really actually you've already seen it, but he stood there and took a bunch of damage from the mock droids. And that's setting up for the trick here, and we'll go ahead and explain it after he completes this fight.
This won't be too long there. It's actually gonna be. Alright. I'm not gonna get too much health back from this one. Not a big deal. Should still be fine. Wow, being nice.
No spanks?
None. Not. Well, one I got picked up first off, but.
Right, yeah.
Alright,
Nice.
we're good. We got blue suit.
Sweet. So you want me
Do you want to
to...
explain? Oh, let's
Yeah.
wait until I get your grapple escape to explain
Okay,
what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Do it all at once. That's the least blue suit I've ever seen. Yeah, it doesn't look very blue, does it?
It's the whole gold blue debate all over again. What
Please,
colour
no.
is this dress?
Don't. No. No.
Alright, so you want to explain what just happened there, buddy? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That was good tricks.
Awesome tricks. So
Oh no,
a
I
lot
missed
of
the jump.
a lot of really awesome stuff you guys just saw there. So starting with the setup, so you saw before he even entered Dragon, he was just chilling there letting the mock droids take his health down. That was so that he could more safely set up for the crystal flash that you saw him do, and then get grabbed by Dragon immediately after that, or during the crystal flash, excuse me. And so when your crystal flash is interrupted, you're actually put into a state where you get a shine spark suit. Basically, it's different than a blue suit. You're still able to run and stuff and move around. But if you jump if you do a non-spin jump, you will activate a shine spark. And so then what you saw him do is he used that right as he got grabbed by Dragon, which interrupted the shine sparking, the actual act of the shine spark, by getting grabbed by Dragon. And when a shine spark is interrupted by something, by Dragon grabbing you, by Crystal Flash, the game doesn't reset the way to explain this. I'm not the game it doesn't reset the fact that you're not you're still like in blue like speed booster echoes, so it still gives it to you, which is why when it didn't look blue, you still saw the trail of Samus behind Fusta. So that allows you to use a shine spark pretty much wherever you want, and so he kept that, and then killed Dragon, went and grabbed space jump, and then did another grapple jump that I was talking about earlier, where this one is a lot more tricky, where he basically used the he grabbed himself the spark turret and bounced off of the ground, and that one's a little tricky. You need to actually get enough distance or enough bounce off of that wall to actually clear the platform. And get up to the door. So that was really interesting. And then finally, after that, to do the final escape out of the water, he uses the blue suit, charges up the spark, and sparks all the way up out of that water area. So, in a nutshell, I suppose that's everything that happened there. I hope it was clear and understandable for at least most of you.
Of course, if you ask Foos, the grapple escape from Dragon's free.
It's totally free. All
If
you
you
gotta do
don't-
is do hypo strat.
If you don't completely understand it, like I didn't for the longest time, it's extremely difficult
It's
to figure out.
definitely a light bulb moment.
Yeah,
It's definitely one of those kind of things.
Yep. As soon as you figure it out, it's like ding. Oh, hello. Okay. But yeah. So now Foos is going through the. This is actually great. And the only categories you're going to see this 100% map and RBO. You see the Forgotten Highway, which is this area that in no other category is really ever efficient to go through. This series of rooms connecting the wreck ship and Meridia.
Hey. It's a good strat. Why don't I do that more often? What was the point of space jump? Oh, shoot, I zoned out for a split second while I was explaining. The point of space jump was to make it easier to get plasma, which saves time when you're fighting Phantoon and Mother Brain. And to go out this way. If you want to go out a different way in Meridia, it'd take longer. So if you don't have space jump, well, okay, that was the last place I could explain what space jump can do. But basically, when you have a space jump and you're underwater and you do a spin jump underwater, you obviously can't use space jump because you don't have gravity. But when you do it so that when you space jump so that you're half in and half out of water, your suit starts to turn a little bit green, and that's an indication that you can start space jumping. And so it's kind of like skipping a rock across a pond. You can kind of just like space jump in half water, half air. And it's that trick that allows me to go through Cactus Alley, which allows me to go to Plasma faster and use Forgotten Highway. If I don't want to space jump, I can't do any of that.
Yeah, and it's very it's very quick grab. It's it's literally right there at Dragon. So the amount of time that it saves with that faster route is definitely worth the small amount of time that it takes to actually grab it. So now these last two bosses here, very inconsequential. They're super easy with the overpowered beams that you've got for this point.
I hit him? I think I did. Okay. Okay, I did. Now we have the hardest boss left of all. Infamous for how many resets he gives people.
Actually, Dingus, do you want to talk a little bit about what is possible to happen if you use the charged Ice Wave Plasma Shot?
I was
Great.
waiting for that.
Why don't you explain it to us? What happens?
Well, I'm still a little bit unsure on how it happens, but if you use the charged plasma shot on Pride when he opens his mouth, it'll either do one of two things.
What?
It'll do his job and kill him, or it'll soft lock the game so you can't beat him. But if you touch him, it will completely crash the game. As myself and Charles Black found out that Christmas just gone.
I believe what happens, right, is he's still he doesn't die, but his health reaches 0. But he doesn't actually like go through his whole like death animation, right? He doesn't go into the ground or anything.
I don't actually know if you're asking me. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm sure
Dingus
ED
really-
will
the one maybe Ed knows.
I'm sure
Eternized
ED will
Dragon.
explain.
ED will
Yeah.
know.
Eternized Dragon in the chat here. He's your guy for all things obscure and technical
Oh,
as
right, I
well.
keep on forgetting this door's open.
Interrupting a crystal flash does not give blue suit, it gives the shine spark suit. I tried to be deliberate about that. Interrupting a shine spark and interrupting a crystal flash do different things.
Oh.
One gives you blue suit and one gives you a shine spark suit, and those are different.
Deboost is possible.
But yeah, basically, just heading off to Kraid now. You know,
And
he won't know what hit him.
apparently, sometimes it's possible to forget Kraid, as some people watching might know.
But hey, in their defense, they eventually remembered.
Statue room when
Once
the Kraid
it-
statue didn't.
Oh man.
All right, that's fine.
All the love. Sweetnum's a good sport.
Oh no! What? I forgot I need an audio cue for that. Oh no! Get wrecked by the Ghidorah, dude. Jeez.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, so as you see, he's not getting.
That's my comeuppance for that
This
one.
gets better.
Yeah, he doesn't grab
That's what I get for
any
making fun of Sweetnum. That's
suits.
completely what I get for making fun of Sweetnum.
by Sweetnum in grade. But yeah, so he's not going to grab any of the suits. He completely skipped the gravity suit at after Phantoon, and he's not grabbing it now. The various suit after Kraid. You know, it's slow. You don't need him. You know, you will be taking a lot of damage. You know, if you get hit by anything by Mother Brain, you know, optimally that's not going to be happening.
All this stuff is Mother Brain and the escape. There aren't very many differences from here on out. The main difference is that I still take quadruple damage from everything. So Mother Brain actually is a little bit deadly. I mean, it's not that big a deal. Just to keep in mind that her Onion Ring combo will do how much is it? 80,
Each.
400 damage if you get comboed by all of them. So just a minor amount of damage.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. And the thing is, with Mother Brain's Onion Ring attacks, you do not have, or if you do have invulnerability frames, they're very, very small amount of them. You will get hit by all four if you are not careful. And you know, just taking like all that damage is can be incredibly deadly. You know, so.
And the more fun thing is it's possible to get, I think as far as I know, max to get hit by Catch-Up is 4 times. And if Catch-Up does 100 damage normally with gravity, stupid Key Hunter, if Catch-Up does 100 damage normally with gravity, you know, it's you could potentially just lose 1600 energy pretty quickly. Just as a heads up, so don't get hit by Catch-Up is basically the main takeaway.
And the 1600 is higher than the maximum number of energy tanks in the game. There are 14 energy tanks and 4 reserves. Fusta has 1 reserve. And so, like I said, if he, if that reserves, like I said much earlier, if that reserve starts to refill, it's got a bit of energy in there, your ability frames will run out and you'll get a double hit. So, one catch-up has the potential to just completely destroy you. But the good thing is, good thing is catch-up is incredibly easy to predict. She only begins using the catch-up beam once she is reduced to down to 1/4 of her health remaining, and she has the same amount of health as Ridley, at 18,000.
Basically, Superfly Pony Guy, when a Crystal Flash is interrupted, you get Shine Spark suit, and when a Shine Spark, as in like you're actually Shine Sparking, gets interrupted, as long as it doesn't crash the game, a couple different scenarios where Shine Spark interrupted a Shine Spark crashes the game.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you don't get crashed the game, interrupting the Shine Spark gives you Blue Suit. And the difference between those two means Shine Spark suit means you already pushed. Just imagine that you're always in the pressed down state of a Shine Spark. You're always ready to go at any time, pushing jump or pushing angle up in the air, like things like that. Just automatically start the Shine Spark. While
yeah. Like when you are like just in a using speed booster normally, you press down and you start flashing white. That's basically the state that you're in Shine with the Shine Spark suit.
Oh, apparently it didn't shoot. Alright.
So you're going to be standing up?
I'm considering not doing it.
Yeah, because I was going to say there's always the possibility that you can soft lock there as well.
Not even just soft lock, it's just the fact that you take 120 damage.
Yeah, and there's no vulnerability, so if you accidentally just hold forward for too long, run into mother once, you could have a problem there.
Like, I don't need stand up to save 20 seconds. I'd
Right.
rather just finish the run.
Exactly. I mean, I can still explain it if you'd like me to.
Give me a second, I gotta skip the Metroid.
Do it, yeah. Metroid skip here, pretty... Good luck.
I'm gonna fail. It's gonna be great. Oh, almost failed. Oh, almost failed. Wow, okay. How am I not getting caught? Why are these things not dying either? Get out of the way. Okay, wow, this is like the worst Metroid skip of all time. Okay, whatever. Dude, that was the most entertained I've been in a long time.
It's just the amount of times you actually shot the Metroid, that's what got me going.
Oh my gosh. I'm good at this game, I swear.
So the reason why you didn't see him, even after he got grabbed, if you go through that door transition, you'll have what's called the permanent Metroid deceleration, which is bad. It basically it slows you down. Basically, it acts as if the Metroid is attached to you for the rest of the game, unless you were to save and reset. But like the game is still completable under that condition, but it would take a really long time to do.
Hello, jump
so
through the door.
Yeah, so what you'll see him do here is the Zebutite skip. What he's going to be doing is doing a short charge, which I guess we haven't really talked about at all. In this game, with Speed Booster, just really briefly, the way it checks to give you the blue suit is holding dash on 4 separate frames. So if he taps on those 4 separate frames, he doesn't increase his speed, but he increases the boost frames to get blue. And so he does a diagonal Shine Spark up into the Zeb and skips it, despawning the rest of them. So he doesn't actually need ammo to kill them all, just to actually kill them with the brain one.
Sorry, 2Cat.
Yeah, the
down
down
back is
back.
incredibly inconsistent for me.
Yeah, the down back. There's another method, a down back method. You skip the Zebtites. Pretty inconsistent for myself as well. If you're wondering, you can't. There's another very much easier method to do the Zebtite skip, but you're not unable to do it with screw attack on. Yeah, there are 4 ways to skip the Zeptites. There's the... Oh my. There is the normal method where you just angle down and freeze the Rinka. Okay, so yeah, actually, what's your... are you doing...
No.
Oh,
I
no,
want to
okay.
get rainbow twice.
Okay. So yeah, there's and then what you do is you do a small spin jump into the Zebetite after during your invulnerability frames, and then do a small jump up, and you can get through. You can do the giant spark method, which you saw. There's another down backing method, which is difficult, and then there's a method where if you kill the first Zebetite, you can actually skip to the next one, and you can actually do that with Blue Suit or Screw Attack as well.
I died in this, right? I did a lava dive and died. Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, this isn't a bad time for dying, I guess.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, even if you did have control, I mean, you could... I mean, with the first Rainbow Beam, that's unavoidable. It's just gonna defeat your supers and your power bombs down to 0, even if you have 50.
Jump. Best Mother Brain 3. Dude, I'm so used to the hyper Q for escaping. Save the animals?
I don't know. We already said they were gonna be fried earlier.
Don't know, it's a split vote. People are saying save, people are saying kill. Someone's saying taunt.
Sift C. Gotta keep it a surprise. Not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Slow, but alright.
Sam is not authorized to save the animals. We've already had the fusion run, we don't need to save them for canon.
It's true, they've already been saved. I always forget if you don't actually do that, those blocks aren't despawned.
The taunt is real. The taunt is real.
Time. Oh, sorry, time. Almost forgot.
Yeah, it's fine, don't worry, I got back in time. 1:27:46.
Dude, that's that's barely like 40 seconds better than my test run of this route with a death. That's kind of crazy. All right, cool.
Nice.
Very good run.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the commentary,
Very
gentlemen.
nice.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
Definitely a run where I needed it. Needed a lot of concentration.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we're almost half an hour ahead of schedule. So
Nice.
definitely do the run back.
Let's do it. Let's get my revenge. I gotta.
So
Redemption
we'll
Fusa.
we'll switch over to setup in a second. Just let the credits play out for Super Attack. But basically, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, Fusa did a Hyper Metroid run, and bad things happened, to put it lightly. But he's now going to get his revenge, basically picking up from the point where everything fell apart yesterday.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to get to see the second half of the Hyper Metroid 80% run.
Which is great, because the second half is much more exciting than the first half. It's when you get Speed Booster, you have Spring Ball, and do a whole bunch of cool strats. And get to see
And you get to
Turian,
s-
which
yes.
is amazing.
Turian. So we'll wait for Deer Force and then switch it over, I think.
There it is.
Oh, baby.
I love a good Deer Force wall.
That's a lot of for us, man.
Never enough Deer Force. You guys need to spam harder or we're not going to have enough time for Hyper Metroid.
Yeah, that was Fusda with reverse boss order. Definitely make sure give him a follow. Twitch.tv/Fusda.
Yeah, it was a great run. Actually, what we can do is just go straight over to Hyper Metroid.
Sure.
That works. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to just get onto that, we'll swap
Let's
something
do
else
it.
over.
Yep.
Hopefully,
Let's finish
whenever-
this, please.